Hi everyone, welcome to Summer Art Club. Today we're going to learn a bit about color theory, do some color mixing, and then using our paints as well as pictures from old magazines, create a couple fantastic surreal creature collages. Here we've got a whole bunch of different paints. You can use anything that you've got at home. The more puck paints like this, maybe paint in tubes, and then some little watercolor pans I've got here. As for brushes, whatever you've got on hand will work as well. I've got kind of a softer brush right here. It's always good to get it wet and ready to paint. So we're going to start with some color theory. So color mixing, the basics. So our primary colors are, if you're not sure, maybe you already know them, red, yellow, and blue. That's right. So let's give it a try. As you're painting your small circles on your paper, make sure to also mix up a small puddle of each color on your palette as well. Also in the video description below, there's a link for a color wheel printout that you can complete as well. For this video though, we're just going to freestyle it. Nice. So, red, yellow, blue on our palette here. When we mix our colors together, we're going to be able to get our secondary colors. And those are, of course, orange, purple, and green. Let's give it a try. We're going to start with mixing up our red and our yellow. Another helpful tip is to always bring your darker color into your lighter color. So dark into light. So in this case, the red is being mixed into the yellow to create the orange. Next up, we've got our yellow and our blue. Remember to bring that darker color into the lighter color, so blue into the yellow. Finally, we've got red and blue to get a really nice purple. So aside from your primary colors, again, red, yellow, blue, secondary colors, orange, purple, green, we can also think about colors in kind of two dividing camps, warm colors, cool colors. Good examples of cool colors are blue, green, and bluish purple. They're generally thought of as calming and soothing. Maybe they remind you of water, the sky, or even ice and snow. Cool colors are generally not overpowering and tend to recede into space. The opposite of cool colors are warm colors. Reds, oranges, and yellows that tend to jump out at you, so they move forward in space. They're vivid and bold in nature, and they make you think of fire, heat, and maybe even volcanoes. With the paints that you have at home, try and divide up your colors into warm and cool. Sometimes this can be tricky when you have a coolish lime yellow or a purpley bluish red that seems way more cool than fire hydrant orange red. That's all part of color theory though. We can divide colors up, but they don't always follow the rules. Let's move on to our imagination collage. Let's get out all our tools, our paints, brushes, pencil or markers, glue stick, scissors, magazines, and a larger base paper. So this is a good example of what we're going to be doing. So this part here in this imagination collage is a piece cut out of a magazine of a waterfall. And then this student turned it into the most amazing caterpillar. A lot of the colors that were used are in the cool color camp. So blues, teals, some greens, a bit of yellow in here. Looking good. Another collage, this one here, it's pretty fun. So we've got this pulled out of a magazine and then turned into a whole new creature galloping across the landscape. That's pretty great too. So I've gone through some of my magazines and picked out a few images that I thought could turn into interesting creatures. We're going to try cutting some out and pasting them down to create a imaginary creature collage. While I'm working on gathering pictures for my collages, why don't you do the same? Look for interesting shapes and patterns. Think about taking pictures of ordinary things and turning them into something extraordinary. This is a pretty good collection. Let's get out our base piece of paper and start gluing things down. Now we can use our markers or pencils to turn our collage picture into a fabulous creature. Pencils are good for smaller details, but I might suggest a permanent marker like this Sharpie because the ink will show up on the magazine pictures and not be too smudgy. But hey, work with what you got. Now we can add our paint and keep going. Can you remember if green was a primary color or a secondary color? Does it seem more of a cool or warm color to you? Either way, this snail creature seems pleased enough to be green. Here comes the background. I chose this color because it matches some of the red tomatoes in the snail creature's pizza shell, but also because it is opposite of green, fiery, warm red. When you're painting, feel free to mix colors on your palette or even on your painting. Here I've been working with red, but to add some interest at the top, I'm going to throw in some blue and mix it right on the page. Try out this in spots where you're feeling a bit adventurous. And that's it for this one, I think. Feeling pretty positive about this friendly dude. I think though that it might be time for one more. Summer Art Club kids, can you do another one too? This next collage is going to get a bit stranger and have more collage pieces, but hey, let's see where it takes us. Let's go! That could work. With our markers or pencils, let's take a look at how we want to fold everything together. Try to get your creatures to somehow talk to one another or relate to one another. Maybe make up a story that goes with your picture. For example, this shoe seems quite surprised at how chill the other creature is flying through the air. This one just seems kind of grumpy. Maybe a toothache? Now let's get out our paint. Fiery oranges and yellows for this very surprise shoe. Maybe for your second collage, you only want to work with warm colors. That would be a challenge. And then maybe another collage with only cool colors. You could be making art all day. Doesn't sound too bad to me. Well, I think that's about it for this video. Thanks very much for hanging out with me today. I hope that you learned a few things about color mixing and had some fun. Take care out there. We'll see you soon.